What would you say to first-time voters or people who may be considering not voting on this occasion? What would you say to them at this stage, 2 days to go in the election?
Well, the establishment parties don't want you to vote. That's for sure. They wouldn't even facilitate a polling day that would suit students. But that to one side, not all young people are students. And I can understand why some of them would be cynical about all of this. But I just think it's of huge importance that first-time voters come out and vote, that young people stake their claim. There's no point whinging, there's no point complaining or garning about the government, or if you can't get decent costs for driving insurance, if you can't get a home, if you're stuck in a situation where you have to pay back huge student loans and all the rest of it, if you can't get proper conditions or terms for your place of employment, there's no point complaining about it. Come out on Thursday and vote Sinn Féin. If you want to be part of what is a historic movement forward, which is about equality, which cherishes young people, which is about the future. And we don't think we've all the answers, and we want to work in tandem with citizens. So come out and vote and give us a mandate.
What would you say to young people who would say that politics in the state is inherently corrupt, and who would be cynical in terms of saying that all politicians are the same?
Well, they're not, and in fairness, there was a culture of corruption. And I could talk about this for an hour. I see it as part of our colonial past. I see it as part of the conservative state which was established here. I see it as a result of the slaughter of a civil war and the execution of leaders in 1916. But in fairness, in all the political parties, and there are some who I'm profoundly opposed to, there are genuine people who want to do their best by their own ideological position and do their best for their own supporters. So even if politics was totally corrupt, do you just roll over? Do you just accept it? Have you no responsibility? It was amazing to me when all of the revelations coming out of the tribunals hit public consciousness. There was a huge turnover, particularly with young people who, quite understandably, are idealistic and who just were, I suppose, you'd have to use an expletive to describe just how people were so annoyed and sickened by what was going on. But the war in Iraq, and I saw this, I was doing university campuses, the war in Iraq and the rallies and the protests was the first indication for me that young people were motivated. And in an interesting way, it just shows the state we're in, that they felt they could affect what was happening in Iraq, but were apathetic about their ability to affect what was happening here because they were feeling disempowered. So, this whole issue of corruption in politics and of the need for transparency and accountability, the only way to change things is by making political choices, and that's what this election should be about. It should be about political choices.
One of the biggest issues, I suppose, for many young people in this state and right across the country, maybe two issues, is suicide and deaths on the roads. There's probably not a young person in this country who doesn't know somebody in their circle who hasn't been killed as a result of either suicide or road deaths. But they're not on the top of the political agenda. They're largely irrelevant, bar lip service from the establishment parties.
Well, I'm involved in a campaign with families who have been bereaved through suicide. It goes back about 3 years now, and we have to some degree been successful in putting that issue on the political agenda, particularly in the north. Right. Mary Harney refused to meet me on the issue. I think it's profoundly symptomatic of the state of politics that when you have up to 500 people reported suicides, and God knows how many more unreported suicides, and God knows how many thousands of people who are or tens of thousands of people who are self-harming. And I mean, I feel very deeply about this issue. I mean, even last week, within about 5 days, I got 5 different calls from different people, including some very good friends of mine, I had to visit a wake of a very, very good Republican woman, Marguerite Gallagher, whose granddaughter of 18 took her own life. And I just feel it's crucial that we deal with this issue. There isn't even an analysis of why this is happening. Mental health is the Cinderella of a decrepit 2-tier health system. There is not enough resources going in. Scotland has done more about this issue than has been done here. And then the whole issue of road deaths, where every single day, and particularly at weekends, you hear, and a lot of them are young people, about multiple deaths on the roads. And again, there's no strategy to deal with that.